Live from Adelaide, this is 7 News with Gertie Spurling.
Good afternoon. A police pursuit has ended in a rooftop arrest when officers closed in on a suspect in Morphett Vale. The man was dragged from his ceiling hiding place after a morning chase through the southern suburbs. Jonathan Edwards has the details.
Police swarmed Cooter Crescent around 9:30 this morning after officers tracked down a Ford station wagon they believed was involved in an earlier police pursuit.
Officers forcing their way inside the Morphett Vale home, finding the suspect hiding in the roof space before dragging the cuffed 24-year-old Port Noarlunga man into a waiting police car. Police allege he was behind the wheel of this Ford at 4 a.m. when it failed to stop on Dyson Road at Christie's Beach, sparking a pursuit. Then at 8:45, the station wagon was spotted on Baden Terrace at O'Sullivan's Beach. Officers tracking it to Cooter Crescent at Morphett Vale, where the car was found abandoned. Polair and the dog squad called in to track the suspect. He's been charged with a string of offences. Residents say they're not surprised by the incident.
I saw 7 cop cars in the street and was wondering what was going on. Being Cooter Crescent, there's always something going on and always a bit of excitement.
I'm not surprised, no. It has grown recently. We've been living here for 30 years or thereabouts. We've had the occasional copper, but nothing serious until lately.
The man was refused police bail and will face court on Monday.
Spontaneous combustion in oily rags started ablaze in the Henley Sailing Club ballroom just before 6 this morning. 3 MFS crews found the upstairs floor of the Seaview Road venue filled with smoke. A club member who lives nearby ran to help when the alarm went off.
He found this pile of rags on the floor that was burning, and he used a CO2 extinguisher on that pile of rags. He had also breathed in a fair bit of smoke while he was here, so we quickly treated him.
The sailing club was cleared of smoke and fortunately there was no significant damage. A car has flipped onto its side after crashing into a traffic light at Theberton. Emergency crews raced to the intersection of Port Road and Phillip Street just after 3 a.m, where Kia had spun and then rolled. Fortunately, the 55-year-old driver from Athol Park wasn't injured. He blew under the legal limit but was fined for driving without control of his vehicle. The damaged traffic lights have been replaced. After a historic state election result, One Nation has thanked its supporters at a gathering. Narungga MP Chantal Thomas was all smiles after strengthening her hold on the seat when missing ballots were counted.
They couldn't get rid of me and I'm standing very strong for the people of Narungga.
It's a seismic shift for politics in this state to have 7 One Nation members elected.
But it's not all smooth sailing for the party. Pauline Hanson was heckled on the campaign trail in Victoria.
Pauline, why don't you go back to where you came from?
Pauline, you're the most despicable politician we've ever had.
You are so ill-informed. I wish you would understand my policies when I stand for.
Polling shows One Nation is the most popular party in Victoria. Iran says it has completely reopened the Strait of Hormuz amid a 10-day ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. But as Rob Scott reports, the announcement is not without its conditions.
Iran's announcement that the strait was open for business came as a welcome shock to the world, but there were strings attached. Iran says it only applies to commercial vessels that have to get approval from its forces to transit first, and then they have to follow a specific route. Tehran also declaring it'll shut the critical waterway down again if the United States doesn't end its blockade of its ports. But Donald Trump says his troops are staying put until a peace deal is signed, hinting that may not be far off.
Talks are going on, it'll go on over the weekend, and a lot of good things are happening. I don't think there's too many significant differences.
The president says Iran has agreed to all of his demands, including ending its nuclear program and handing over its stockpile of enriched uranium.
We're going to go in together with Iran, we're going to get it, and we're going to take it back home to the USA very soon.
Iran says that's untrue and isn't even up for discussion. But news of the reopening of the strait sent financial markets soaring and the price of oil tumbling, down almost 12% today to about $83 a barrel. Shipping companies are relieved, but cautious, still weighing up the risks before sending in their tankers.
While the strait is open, in quote marks, freedom of navigation, as we'd commonly understand it, is yet to be seen. And it may be a few brave first leaders there testing what this new regime of transit looks like.
Key to the reopening of the strait was the 10-day ceasefire agreed to between Israel and Lebanon, a fragile agreement that is holding as people now begin to return to what's left of their homes after devastating Israeli attacks. Donald Trump says the deal he's negotiating with Iran isn't tied to Lebanon, but he'll work to end that fight too. Posting on social media, Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited from doing so by the USA. Enough is enough. An order that's said to have caught Benjamin Netanyahu off guard, who has already said he's not finished with Lebanon yet.
Australia may offer one of its Wedgetail early warning aircraft to help keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Live to Tim Lester in Canberra. Tim, this was hinted by the Prime Minister after a world leaders meeting overnight.
Yes, Gertie, and the details are likely to be hammered out at another world leaders meeting next week in London. 3 world leaders made the trip to Paris overnight at the invitation of French President Macron. 45 others joining by video link, among them our Prime Minister. Apparently, leaders learned of Iran's declaration that the Strait of Hormuz was open as they met. They then emerged to respond and talk about a force to keep the strait open long term.
We welcome the announcement that was made during our meeting, but we need to make sure that that is both lasting and a workable proposal. Along with France, the UK will lead a multinational mission to protect freedom of navigation as soon as conditions allow.
Australia remains, of course, prepared to provide assistance. In London, there'll be discussion about what assets might be required. For example, we already have the E7 there.
The government also announcing that Australia now has 46 days of petrol in reserve. That's 8 days more than just a week ago. The diesel stockpile, critical for transport and farming, unchanged at 31 days. Jet fuel stocks have climbed slightly to 30 days supply. Gertie, don't overread that 46 days for cars. Apparently it just reflects the fact that more tankers have arrived in the last week.
OK, thank you, Tim. Residents have taken to the streets protesting a controversial Rose Park development at the War Widows site on Fullerton Road. Aged care provider ACH Group was gifted the land 2 decades ago and now plans a $120 million development. Protesters are furious after their blue ribbons and poppies were torn down just before Anzac Day.
Those wonderful men that gave their lives, I'm sure they'd be turning in their graves if they actually knew what was happening to their war widows. And we'd like the government to do what they did for the Crown and Anchor, step in and save it.
The state government says the project will be scrutinised by the State Commission Assessment Panel and the SA Heritage Council. The family of a World War I hero is demanding an apology from Israel after the graves of almost 150 diggers were destroyed in Gaza. Alfred Cork's relatives want them restored and the cemeteries rebuilt.
I found that incredibly sad, that these young men who travelled the other side of the world and all of a sudden they're just obliterated. There's nothing there now to say that he was there.
The federal government also wants them restored but says Gaza are preoccupied with the ongoing conflict. Surf Lifesaving SA is desperate for any help it can get following the algal bloom crisis. After the break, the new funding boost to help make our beaches safer. Plus, former PM Kevin Rudd finishes up his role as US Ambassador. Harry and Meghan wave goodbye to Australia after their short tour, and early sketches of a popular bear go on sale for a premium price. Surf Lifesaving has received a multi-million-dollar funding boost to help keep South Australian beaches safer. $2.5 million will go towards training, regional water safety and shark mitigation.
The ability for members to be able to get their red and yellow uniform free of charge. The ability for anyone who joins Surf Lifesaving to access first aid without any money having to be paid. These are wonderful things that we hope will actually bring lots of members back so we can keep patrolling between those red and yellow flags.
The organisation is recruiting volunteers after the algal bloom crisis caused numbers to plummet. After 4 days of smiles and just a few snarls, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have wound up their Australian tour and are heading home to the US. Harry and Meghan taking their seats alongside other passengers on a commercial Qantas flight. Emily Francis has more.
Well, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's whirlwind visit has now come to an end, and while it wasn't an official royal tour, it certainly felt very regal. The couple bid farewell to Coogee Beach on their way to the airport this morning, giving us a royal wave send-off after a packed final night. They were the special guests at last night's Super Rugby match, watching the Waratahs bring home the win alongside industry giants.
It's a great honour to host Harry and Meghan at the rugby, and clearly Harry's got a long history with rugby.
Earlier, the Duchess was the headline at a women's wellness retreat at the Intercontinental Hotel in Coogee, but only made a very brief appearance after a day with doting fans against some of the city's most iconic backdrops.
The reception inside the venues was significant. Outside, there weren't too many people, and that's in stark contrast to 2018. But overall, I think they'll be looking at this as mission accomplished.
Less than 48 hours here and a couple of days in Melbourne. There have been plenty of hugs, handshakes and selfies. For now, though, it's back to the States in the US, and we'll have more details on the Royals at 6.
And 7 News is looking inside the tour that's caused plenty of controversy. The special Harry and Meghan Victory or Vanity will air on Sunday at 9 p.m. after Spotlight on 7 and 7+. Kevin Rudd has formally finished up as Australia's ambassador to the US. The former Prime Minister posting this farewell message to social media.
Serving Australia, the nation and its people, is a privilege. Australia is a good country. The Australian people are a good people. So, my fellow Australians, goodbye, good luck, Godspeed, advance Australia.
Former Defence Secretary Greg Moriarty will replace him. Never before seen original Winnie the Pooh sketches have been uncovered in the lead up to the 100-year anniversary of the first book. And for a pretty penny, they could be yours. Ben Downey has the details.
Well, the stories of Winnie the Pooh have been told and retold in all kinds of mediums, from children's book to television, but never before has the eponymous bear been seen like this, not at least for a century. Original sketches from E.H. Shepard, drawn before publication, those of Pooh, Piglet, Christopher Robin and their friends, that instead of being displayed in libraries, museums or other curations, were kept in the family. That's at least until now. To mark the centenary of the beloved franchise, they're on display in London. We don't know why they've been kept away for so long, but now this collector's dream is not only being displayed, but is on sale, with sketches expected to fetch anywhere between $20,000 to $60,000. And when you listen to the literary experts, well, you can understand why.
Now, Shepard was the first illustrator of Winnie the Pooh, and some of these are preliminary, some of them are abandoned sketches, and it's very exciting to see those original thoughts of inspiration as pencil hits paper.
It's quite incredible. Difficult to believe the person behind these sketches could have imagined their drawings would go on to continue to inspire young and old generations more than a century on.
Abba joins us with sport after the break as a dog day at the Cattery sees one of the league's superstars out for the season. And another win for Gout Gout, locking in a trip to the Junior World Championships.
Good afternoon. Port Adelaide is playing Hawthorn this afternoon at Marvel Stadium after a week of turmoil. We have the game on 7 Mate from 5:30, so if you don't wish to know the state of play, please look away now. The Hawks were red hot early under the roof at Marvel, but the power finally switched on and surged ahead in the second quarter, kicking 6 unanswered goals.
done well to get back in this game, haven't they?
Tighten it right up to 7 points. Georgiades. Oh. What a kick this man is. Mitch Georgiades has got 2.
And after a week of frustration, Zach Butters is letting his play do the talking with 18 touches and a goal. Essendon almost caused the upset of the season as the Suns survived an almighty scare on the Gold Coast. It was a rollercoaster clash in stifling heat, and it was the Bombers who were red hot early. They led by 12 points halfway through the third quarter before the Suns kicked into gear with a 5-goal burst.
Heard the call from Weller, steps, sold some candy on Daywicks, and that is just all class.
Essendon had its chances late but couldn't convert as Gold Coast held on by 9 points. And the worst has been confirmed for Western Bulldogs star Sam Darcy. Scans confirming the tall forward ruptured his ACL in last night's 70-point thumping from the Cats. Matt Payne proved he's a serious supercars contender, taking out today's second race in Christchurch. The rest of the field was left trailing in the Kiwis' dust as he led from pole to checkered flag, bouncing back from the morning race where a sloppy pit stop cost him dearly.
Is that the wheel's gone? Lost a wheel. We knew it was a troublesome stop.
I've lost the wheel.
He finished 19th as Brodie Kostecki cruised to victory. He leads Brock Feeney in the championship by 61 points. Cam Green is finally finding form in the IPL. The Knight Riders' $4.2 million man top scored for Kolkata, smashing 79 off 55 balls against the Gujarati Titans.
Green was ready for it. He waited for it. That is an Angel 1-6.
Chasing 181, Indian captain Shubman Gill's 86 guided the Titans to a 5-wicket win. Gaukett secured his spot in the World Junior Athletics Championships, coming from behind to take out the 100 metres junior national title in Brisbane. The 18-year-old stormed home in 10.21 seconds in the final, having enough time to salute the crowd.
Moves on past him here now, the Queenslander. He waved them goodbye at 20 to go.
The more of a show there is, the more people that's got to come watch. And the more people there is, the more pressure, the faster he runs.
Gauk will race in the 100 and 200 metres in Oregon in August. That's our sport for now, Gertie, but plenty more in a main bulletin at 6 with Smitho. We'll update the Port Hawthorn score and get a preview of tonight's Crows game against the Saints. Those Saints have been hanging around all week.
It's all happening tonight. Thanks, Bruce. Well, it's been a lovely sunny day across Adelaide and we're in for similar conditions tomorrow. I'll have the details after the break.
Seven News Sunday.
27 million people, 10 million homes, it just isn't enough.
When you can't buy a house, that goes to the core of whether or not you can get a fair go.
So, where does that leave you?
Over 6 nights, Australia's housing headache will be blown wide open.
Quarter-acre dream. Priced out or just sky high?
Plus, a new generation building with mum and dad.
Home Truths starts Sunday on 7 News.
Mike Smithson has our main bulletin at 6. And Smitho, what have you got?
Well, Gertie, heading tonight's bulletin is another bombshell revelation involving one of our senior cops. We have exclusive details on a mysterious departure from the Angus Street headquarters. See the moment a shovel was wielded in a heated brawl between two angry truckies at an Adelaide servo. We'll tell you what sparked it. Outback tourism operators are sounding dire alarm bells in the wake of the fuel crisis. And in selling SA, from a barn to a jam factory and even a pottery studio, it's a listing that's had many, many incarnations. A bit like me.
Thanks, Smitho. Well, to the weather now. We've had clear skies across the suburbs today. In the city, after an overnight low of 13, the top was just shy of 25 degrees. Right now, it's sitting on 23. We continue to see some wet weather across the tropical north and through parts of inland Queensland, potentially a shower out towards the coast. Showers and a storm possible in Darwin, currently 27 there. Clear skies and 23 in Brisbane. Sydney sitting on 17. Cool in Hobart, just 11 at the moment. Mostly sunny in Perth. Right now, it's 21. A ridge of high pressure is keeping conditions over most of inland SA dry and stable. A weakening cold front will move over central and eastern parts of the state tomorrow, creating some wet weather and some unsettled conditions too. Dry and mostly sunny across the far north, 31 for Roxby, 32 for Coober Pedy, 30 for Murray and Port Augusta. Isolated showers and possible thunderstorms moving across the agricultural area in the morning, with scattered patchy rain persisting about southern coasts in the afternoon. 23 for Port Lincoln, cloud clearing, and 29 for Whyalla, 26 for Clare, 25's the top for Redmark, 28 with a shower possible in Murray Bridge, a shower or two for Victor, 25 for Kingscote, 23 with showers easing in Mount Gambier. And flood warnings remain in place for northern inland rivers. In the city, down to 16 degrees overnight. 25 is the forecast top, but it'll be a partly cloudy day and a warm working weeks ahead too, with the mercury reaching the high 20s. More on that in the full forecast tonight. That's all the news for now. Mike Smithson will have all the day's top stories at 6 o'clock. Bye for now.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now.